What's going on, guys? Guys, I wanna speak about something that Eddie Hearn said about the Canelo Plant fight. Eddie Hearn has come out and said that DAZN have sent an offer to Caleb Plant for a fight. This is what apparently Michael Benson reported. I think it was a couple of days ago. That Canelo Alvarez and Eddie Hearn have sent an offer, or DAZN, sorry, have sent an offer to Caleb Plant's team for a fight, I think on DAZN. I was on Last Bell Boxing, and they said they were quite adamant that they thought the fight would happen on DAZN because of the fact that Canelo's got a good relationship with them. Canelo, and you know what? Maybe they're right. And maybe I actually said that I think the fight will happen on Fox, and that's why Canelo was a free agent. Because I didn't think that Al Heyman would allow maybe Caleb Plant to go over. But the fact that they've sent an offer, but again, there's no concrete answer from the fact that, you know, just because they've sent an offer, because as we know in the past, DAZN have sent an offer to Wilder to fight Joshua, and that was turned down by Deontay Wilder and Al Heyman. So again, it has to make sense for Al Heyman in that camp. And if I was Al Heyman and Fox and those guys that obviously maybe taking care of Plant, I don't know if Plant has I'm not 100% sure if Plant has got a fixed contract with Fox, or he's got a, you know, kind of like a contract with a couple of fights or whatever where he's tied down to them. I don't know whether he's a free agent. I'm not sure. I think did he mention something about it that he's a free? I can't remember. I don't think he has. So I don't think he is a free agent. But if he is, then obviously it gives him the option of fighting on DAZN. But if he is tied down to a contract, then Canelo being a free agent, it makes more sense for him to go over to Fox and have that fight. But then when you think about it, DAZN, having invested so much in Canelo, they wouldn't want that fight to be on another platform, an undisputed fight, you know, on another platform, and they're investing a lot in Canelo. And Carl made this point on his show that, you know, they're investing a lot of money, and why would they, you know, would they allow for him to go? But the thing is, if Canelo's a free agent, that the final call is his. I don't know the contractual situation of Caleb Plant, so the final decision may not be Caleb Plant. He may need to get permission to fight on DAZN. So that's why it's not as straightforward for Caleb Plant if he is tied down to a contract. If he's not, then I guess the fight can happen. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, but yeah, if Caleb Plant isn't tied down to a contract, then you know, I'm pretty sure he can accept. But if he is, then Canelo being the free agent, he might have to be the one. But for that to happen, Fox have to send Canelo an offer. And I think Eddie Hearn has openly said that they're not, if they have to fight on Fox, they'll fight on Fox. But I think Canelo having a very strong link with DAZN, and Eddie Hearn having a obviously strong link with DAZN, they've made that first move, and they're the A side. Canelo is the A side against Plant, so they've made that first offer. And now it's just, let's see if Al Heyman, Caleb Plant, they sit down as a team. Are they going to accept it, or do they think that do Fox, I think Caleb Plant fights on Fox, do they think that they can put something together for Canelo that would make Canelo and Plant more money? Possibly. Because if you look at a pay-per-view between Canelo, if it's £90 or $90 or whatever, $90, how many pay-per-views would Canelo Alvarez do? I don't know. That an undisputed fight, Canelo being a huge star, it could do upwards of 700,000-800,000, possibly. Yeah, Canelo hasn't fought on pay-per-view for a long time, but if you go on him historically, his numbers have been quite high. So in a fight like this, of this magnitude, being an undisputed fight, he may be able to do huge numbers. So in that case, it may make more sense for him to fight on a pay-per-view platform like a Fox for that particular fight. I don't know. It depends on what Canelo does. I'm pretty sure DAZN, who he's working with, are paying him huge money. And I'm pretty sure they would offer huge money because they wouldn't want Canelo to fight on another platform because they know what Canelo does for their service. They know what Canelo does for their viewership. They know what Canelo does in terms of bringing more subscribers to the thing. So they want rest of Canelo's career to be fought on DAZN, because imagine what that does for Canelo being such a big star as he is and bringing so many eyes to the sport that he does. Imagine what that does for DAZN as a business. And by the time Canelo is finished his career, DAZN could be an established boxing service. So they are now, but with Canelo continuing to fight on there, him being such a big star, and then alongside that with the other names that they've got, their platform could be in 6-7 years at a time massive. It could be, like what HBO was back in the day. DAZN could be basically that. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I don't think it's going to be as straightforward, and the fact that it's taking very long. I always knew this Plant fight would take long. It wasn't going to be like the Callum Smith fight. It wasn't going to be like the Yildirim fight, and it wasn't going to be like the Billy Joe fight. Those guys were on DAZN. Those guys were with Eddie Hearn. Those fights were going to be easy to make. This is a completely different ballgame. This fight is a completely different ballgame because we've got a guy now that's across another platform. And I wouldn't say Caleb Plant is a guy that does huge numbers on Fox. And he's a guy that's going to do huge pay-per-view numbers. I don't even think he's ever been on pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken. Or his own card. I know he was on a pay-per-view, maybe Manny Pacquiao v Thurman. But I'm talking his own pay-per-view. I'm not sure he's ever done a pay-per-view. So he's not somebody that's going to, if he's fighting, not a big name, he's not going to be moving the needle like that. So I don't know. I don't know the situation. I don't know whether Al Heyman will allow him to fight on this. I don't know. I think the magnitude of the fight, they might want that fight on Fox. And Canelo, like I said, is a free agent. So he may say, you know what, I want to fight on Fox. I want to become undisputed. I don't care where I fight. But then again, like I said, as Carl mentioned, Canelo's got a good relationship with DAZN. They invest in him. They don't want him to fight on another platform, but he hasn't got a fixed deal with them. That was the whole point, because the reason why Canelo became a free agent, he knew he was a massive star, and he knew by being a free agent, he can fight on any platform, and those platforms would offer him huge money to fight on their platform. So Canelo would probably be better off that way. And also, it kind of, the politics are not so much involved, because Canelo can do what he wants. He can fight on whatever platform, and he can fight whatever fighter he wants. So like, he wants to become undisputed. But if you look at the belts, Billy Joe was on DAZN, Callum Smith was on DAZN, so it was easy to make. But now, for example, if he was tied to DAZN and Caleb Plant's on Fox, and DAZN say, well, we're not letting you fight on Fox, and Fox say to Caleb Plant, we're not letting you fight on DAZN, then the fight can't happen. So then politics get in the way. So Canelo, I think, wanted to eradicate that, so that doesn't happen. But are they going to send such a huge offer, which is going to be hard for Al Heyman, Fox, and Caleb Plant to turn out? I don't know. This the time will tell. But the fact that Canelo also said that they're looking at other options is kind of worrying if you really want to see the Caleb Plant Canelo fight, because that means that they know that, this may not come to fruition, and it's not as straightforward as what we initially thought it would be. Also, Canelo wants to fight in September, so now we're in July. So July, August, September. So we're not that long away from September, and I would be early September as well. So we're not that far away from September. We're in July, so we've only got August, then it's September. So Canelo's probably, if it's September the 12th, how many weeks is that? 2 months? We've got 8 weeks. That's 8 weeks away. That is not a long time. 8-9 weeks from September, from his fight date, potentially. So surely in the next week or so, that fight has got to be announced. That fight has got to be a done deal. Otherwise, Canelo may have to fight somebody else. He may have to fight somebody else. So this is why it's going to be very intriguing. And I think an announcement is going to come very soon for Joshua Usyk, for Caleb Plant Canelo, for Golovkin and, you know, Andrade, if that was to happen, for Golovkin's next big fight. And there's some big announcements, I think, that are going to come very soon. And this is definitely one of them because, like I said, I think Canelo wants to become undisputed. He can't do that without fighting Caleb Plant. And I think it's a fight that he really wants. But again, I think they know that the difficulty of making this fight is not going to be easy. And I said it wouldn't be easy. So they're keeping their options open. And it wouldn't surprise me if Canelo shocks us with fighting someone like Beterbiev, moving to light heavyweight and fighting Beterbiev and just completely shock us. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, to be honest with you. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. When did Canelo shock us in the past? Probably Kovalev. To be fair, there was a lot of talk about Canelo fighting Kovalev, so I don't think that was a shock, but it was a shock the fact that he was moving up to 175 and, you know, but this would come out the blue. This would come out the blue. Especially the fact if it is September the 12th that he's looking to fight, that would come out, that would definitely take a lot of people. If he was to announce next week that, you know, he's going to fight Beterbiev, I think a lot of people would be excited and a lot of people will be shocked at the same time because we are expecting a Caleb Plant fight. But yeah, let's see. It's going to be very, very interesting. I can't wait for Canelo's future because whoever it is, I think it's going to be a good fight. If it's Beterbiev, I think that's just an unbelievable fight. I think that would be seen as a 50-50, and some people may even have Beterbiev a slight favourite, which makes it more interesting than the Plant fight, because a Plant fight is a fight which, from a competitive standpoint, a lot of people see Canelo as a massive favourite, whereas a Beterbiev fight, that's not the case. But obviously, the Plant fight is creating history. Canelo becoming the first Mexican undisputed champion, so there's a tune to it, you know. Let's see. A Beterbiev fight would be a statement. That would be a statement, and that would be a huge legacy move for Canelo. And I think if he was to beat someone like Beterbiev, I think he rockets up in that all-time great list. He just puts himself on another level, because a lot of people thought when he fought Kovalev, he was kind of just fighting a guy that was a champion, but he was past his best. This is a guy in his prime. This is a guy that's a unified champion. This is a guy that's beating everybody comfortably, knocking him out, walking through everyone. This is a special fighter indeed. So Canelo beating Beterbiev would be some statement. And I know that there's a lot of people, because I put my videos out on Facebook, and there are people giving their opinion. A lot of people think Beterbiev beats Canelo and knocks him out. So this is why I think this would be some statement from Canelo if he was to go ahead with, if this was to be his next fight. But again, like I said, I wouldn't mind him fighting Plant next, just because I would like him to create and become undisputed, and so we know who the man is at super middleweight. Some people may say he may have to fight Benavidez. He's still not the man, because they think Benavidez is also one of the best super middleweight. So they probably think he's the best super middleweight after Canelo. So they think that should be the fight. But nonetheless, let's see what happens. Let's see how this all plays out. But what do you guys make of it? Leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.